And here we go again. I'm Pete Najarian on this Tuesday morning for Market Rebellion. This is the take, and I will tell you this. When you look at yesterday's market, the up and down that we were on, and we talk about this all the time, this roller coaster ride, but yesterday, at least 5, maybe 6 occasions where we were in this 160-point range. We'd go up, we'd pull back, we'd go up, we'd pull back, and finally, late in the day, off of the lows of the day, we actually had a big jump of about 170 points to finish the day, up about 90 points on the Dow. The NASDAQ, a little bit different story. It was around, moving around a little bit, but in negative territory for almost the entire day. And if it wasn't for that final few minutes of the day, it would have been triple digits. But about about 70-point move to the upside off of the lows to actually get to the point where it closed down about 50 points or so yesterday. Looking over at the Dow, it almost got towards that 32,000 level, and then it just couldn't get above that and then pulled right back once again. So an interesting day, markets moving and shifting all over the place. Yesterday, we had volatility in the market still very low, and that is a tight range considering the fact that we're talking about an entity of, call it 32,000 and about 150 or 60-point range. That is fairly tight. And because of that, we're looking at volatility that's trading in the 23s as of yesterday, the low 23s. We also had a volume day that absolutely is puzzling to me because we had just come off that Friday where we had 43 million contracts trading. For whatever reason, Monday comes around and our volumes absolutely plummet. And there we are trading about 28.5 million contracts. That's a significant drop. So that was something that I think really needed to be highlighted just because of the fact that we haven't seen anything quite like that. One of the lowest volume days that I've seen, full trading days all year. Absolutely extraordinary. Volatility, certainly interesting. But you look over at crude, right around 96, doing okay. The 2-year, 10-year, not a whole lot of movement there. 2-year around 3, 10-year right around 2.8. Natural gas, I keep bringing this up and I will continue to pound the table, and not enough folks out there are paying attention to this specific commodity. It's now yesterday all the way up to 880. It's been on an unbelievable pace to the upside, and that continues. By the way, spoiler alert, it continues today, but we'll get into that in just a second. I look over at the Bitcoin, 21,600. It's holding in, but it was 24,000. We got back to 22,000, and we're just sort of slipping away once again. Obviously, keeping an eye on that 20,000 level. Will we start to pull back off of that as well? We had tech yesterday. Tech off about 1%, finished the day off about 0.5%. Energy was definitely the standout all day long and finished the day up nearly 4%, 3.7% to the upside. Outside of that, not a whole lot going on in terms of the sectors themselves. Little bit of shifting around here and there, but mostly just staying within a fairly tight range throughout until we got to the end of the day and we get some reports from Walmart, and oh boy, they were not good. As a matter of fact, they were pretty awful. They were getting hit on margins. They had aggressive markdowns that they had to do. Sounds a whole heck of a lot like what we heard from Target last quarter, right? When they talked about the oversupply in certain parts of the store and they weren't able to sell it. Sounds like, unfortunately for Walmart, found themselves in exactly that same category, profit warnings, all of that. We've seen that effect actually a little bit with Target, a little bit with Amazon. We've also got a big week this week. We've got the Fed, so we're talking about that. That's right in front of us. What was moving to the positive side? I mentioned energy having an explosive day. How about Marathon Oil? How about APA? How about Diamondback? How about Pioneer, Devon, Valero? All those names, 5% moves or more yesterday. Absolutely extraordinary move to the upside. PDD, NetEase, JD, you got those Chinese names, had a pretty decent day as well. Caterpillar, obviously Chevron and Exxon are going to do well along with those beta names I just mentioned. And of course, United Health, off of a big, huge run that it had a few days where it paused and pulled back for sure. And yesterday had a pretty decent day. Newmont Mines, that's a little bit different story. That got hit about 13% yesterday, getting pounded. Align got pounded as well, down about 5%. We look through there and it's Datadog, it's Lucid, it's Zscaler, it's Salesforce, it's Starbucks, it's a lot of different names. Throw in Boeing as well, throw in a couple other names like McDonald's. You get the idea. It was a little bit of a pounding to the downside. By the way, we've got a great thing today, right at the market close. We are going to have a round table. It's going to be the entire, well, most of everybody who's able to make it will be there of the team. And what are we going to be doing? It's going to be the earnings war room. We'll be talking about earnings. We're talking about everybody's opinion going into it, how positioning, what we're seeing in the markets, what are the charts telling us from our of the gurus that we've got. We've got a great team of people on all aspects of the markets. And the war room is going to be a busy place to be. It's going to be great. It's going to be quick. We're going to hit it, and then we'll get out. But you're going to have an opportunity right at the market close to sign up and get into that. That's going to be great. So if you get the opportunity now, want to sign up, you're going to want to be a part of that round table. So as we get into today, I mentioned Walmart. That was last night. Obviously, coming into today, that's going to have a huge effect on the market. Markets were down about 125 points on the Dow, down about 75 on the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ just keeps on sliding to the downside. Last I looked, we were down 150, 160 points. The Dow kind of wavering around, somewhere between down 90, down about 160, maybe 170, something like that. Last I looked, it was down about 110, 120. Crude, once again, starting to stair step up again, getting a little bit closer to 100. Here we are at 98, it's up 1.5%. Got volatility starting to get a little bit more anxious, back up there a little bit above 24. And again, I mentioned that I'm going to bring it up day after day after day. Nat gas, this accelerated move that we are watching, just go back and I'm telling you, put this into your chart area and take a look at how fast this move has taken. I mentioned 880 yesterday. How about 9.25 today? Up another 6%. It's been absolutely ripping to the upside, and it's been on fire. The opposite, Bitcoin just keeps on sliding a little bit more. Last I looked, just before coming on here, right around 21,000, down about 4%. It is unfortunately not been able to hold on to anything in the crypto space. It certainly has gotten interesting, and Bitcoin being the lead. That's the name everybody knows. We keep an eye on highlighting that. 24,000, 21,000, pretty short period of time. Consumer discretion, that's been leading to the downside all day, down about 2.5%. Communications as well, down about 1%. Staples, down about a half or a little bit closer to 1%, call it. Energy, up once again, up about 1%. And technology, that's been sliding. Obviously, the move that we are seeing right now in the NASDAQ, sort of a great indicator of that. So F5, that's actually trading pretty nice for us right now, along with 3M, along with GE, along with CGen. There's certain names that are definitely having a pretty decent day, but there's a lot of names that are getting pounded pretty hard. I mentioned Walmart. I'll bring that name up again. Etsy, I'm looking at PVH getting hit pretty hard. Ross Stores, Best Buy, throw in Zscaler, throw in Home Depot, throw in a little Nike, maybe a little Salesforce. You get the idea. There was some earnings that are obviously coming out. We take a look at what's going with Shopify. They're going to lay off about 10%. That's a stock under some pressure today. Coca-Cola, on the other hand, looking great today. Some of their organic growth that they've got, some of the great numbers they were able to put up. 3M talked about the strong demand across all categories, so that was solid as well. Walmart, well, that is affecting Target. It's affecting a lot of the other companies as well, just kind of shoving things around a little bit. And let's not forget, just last week, Seagate also, they were talking about some of the negativity that they were seeing, and obviously a reflection of what we'd seen last week there. Got two unusuals, then we're out of here. By the way, later on today at noon, we will have the Rebel's Edge. Now, we're going to be testing things out a little bit because John won't be available, so it'll be myself and AJ today live at 12 noon, Rebel's Edge. You're going to have to get a hold of that. We're going to have a really, really great show. I'm looking forward to having AJ join. That should be a lot of fun. You're talking some sports too. He's a guru in a lot of things. In sports, he is the man when it comes to lacrosse. So we'll be talking about a lot of different things. I don't know how much lacrosse conversation we'll have, but it should be a lot of fun. AEM, we're going into the gold miner area here today. It sits near the 52-week lows and at around 39.25, 39.30 in that range. We had a buyer of almost 12,000 of the January 50 calls. So buying a lot of time, going out in time to January, and the 50 strike calls, we're talking about an out of the money call as well, about $1.84 for those, but they're hedging those against the 70s. When I say that, and I oftentimes just go right through there, but they're buying the 50s, selling the 70s. It's a $20 spread, and they're paying $1.84 on the one side, and they're selling premium on the other side. Brings down a little bit of that cost, but all of that going out in January. Palantir is number two. Palantir has struggled as well. This is another one of those names that just really had a very difficult time. It's trading in the single digits, right around 950, a little bit below that area. We're talking about software, counterterrorism, all that kind of stuff. 9,800 of the August 12th expiring, the 9 puts. So it's been getting hammered. Somebody's expecting this stock to continue to get hammered. So they bought 9,800 of the 9 puts out in August 12th for about 55 cents. Those were hedged as well, but we're just focusing on these. 54 cents, the 9 puts, looking to the downside, looking for the stock to make a little bit of a push to the downside, a little bit further than it is right now. But this is a stock that has been under some serious pressure. It was a darling for a while, and it's one of those very, like so many names, it has been getting sold, and it just hasn't been able to show us where the bottom is yet. And we're seeing even more put activity saying that somebody thinks we aren't at the bottom yet. It's got a little further to go. Folks, have a great day at trading. Hopefully you can see us later on with the Rebel's Edge as well as the round table right at the market close. I'm Pete Najarian. Have a great day at trading.